Welcome Taurus to your monthly horoscope for September for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to give you the main strands to look out for, but please stay with me. I will then dive deep to give you in forensic detail all the key dates and influence particularly relevant to your sign. Now, as we come into this new month, the Sun is going to help you to showcase your talent, but also help you to enjoy life's pleasures. And that's going to be emphasized furthermore when on the 5th, your ruler Venus also moves into house 5 to join up with the Sun. So that's really exciting to share with you. But unfortunately, Uranus in your sign is in retrograde, and it is in a much closer and abrasive right angle with the planet of restriction Saturn, which is in the part of your scope to do with worldly responsibilities, your goals and ambitions. So Uranus is asking you to try different things. The Sun and Venus are asking you to be more self-expressive. So how do you work your way through this conundrum? Well, the answer could be, in a strange way, through the journey of Mercury. It starts this month in shadow, goes into retrograde on the 10th. We then have a very important full moon, which is going to be angling to Uranus in your sign. So I need to share with you the importance of that. But once by the 23rd, and we have the autumnal equinox, and the Sun and Mercury briefly are exactly aligned, then Mercury reverses into your 5th house. And funnily enough, some of the details and frustrations you may have earlier in the month with Mercury's initial shadow period and retrograde can be resolved. We must see Mercury retrograde in terms of opportunities, not just the hassle that it can, as we all know, inevitably bring. And there's a superb link this month between the Sun and Pluto in your sector of wider changes, travel, higher education. So I can't wait to share that with you too. If you are wanting to embrace more serious astrology and rise above this zodiac forecast, if you give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place of birth, I can give you a roadmap that can guide you for the rest of your life, help you to identify opportunities, but also see patterns that may have made at times your life more challenging and learn how to work around these. But in my special offer of 30% off, if you order this year, I'll give you your year 2023 forecast within this package, but also the rest of 2022 free. Please see the link below. And finally, if you are new to my channel, I'd be honoured if you would subscribe. If you've already done so, thank you so much for your support. But if not, please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. Thank you. So Taurus, your monthly horoscope for September begins with the Sun in the part of your horoscope to do with self-expression. And you can definitely showcase your talents this month, particularly once Venus moves into your 5th house on the 5th. This is one of Venus's most favoured locations. It's going to see you draw in a lot of admiration in your direction. But as much as you may want to do things in a fresh and a more invested way, particularly with the Sun forging such a positive link with Uranus in your sign in week 2, the fact that Saturn is in your sector of success but in retrograde and forging a really rasping and difficult right angle with Uranus for the whole of this month suggests, as much as you may want to try some new approaches, if you work in a bigger organisation or your life is more constrained by responsibilities and obligations to others, such as your children, your parents, colleagues, then that Saturn square with Uranus can in some ways just reduce the amount of oxygen that you can put into the part of your life where you can just show what a one-off you are. So your personality power gets a real chance to shine in a very radiant way this month. But because Mercury is in shadow as the month begins, details matter. It goes retrograde on the 10th when we have the full moon. A full moon which does actually link very positively to Uranus in your sign. So once it goes into that retrograde, the potential for things to go awry because little details are not quite working as we would like them to do so, means that you need to be vigilant about them in order to relax and really flow when it comes to being more outgoing. So you can do it. There is definite opportunities to do it, but balancing your need to find an outlet for your talents with those larger expectations is going to be challenging, and Mercury is very important to the journey of that this month. But in the first 10 days, there's still a tremendously positive link between Mercury and Mars in your second solar house. And that's going to see you so determined to do better financially through to the 25th of March next year, because Mars in the sign of Gemini is such a rarity for this length of time. It really is going to help you to be very, very gritty in terms of improving your lot. So even if Mercury does throw up a few challenges, I think you're going to have the mettle to fight back and take them on. Now, the full moon may see you having to balance some of your time management. You know, everybody may seem to want a piece of you. And in week 3, with the Sun in opposition with Neptune, that could get a bit draining if there's one friend that's quite clingy, or perhaps some of the things you want to do may be running a little bit on the idealistic side, and the retreat in Mercury could be revealing some snags and flaws that maybe you haven't quite anticipated. But despite that, from the 17th through to the 22nd, Venus forges a gorgeous link with Uranus. This can be great for unexpected developments around your love or social situation. And the 16th to the 22nd also sees the Sun in a transformational angle with Pluto. Now, House 5 with House 9 is great for travel. So if you're traveling with a romantic partner through those days, you may have the experience of a lifetime. But also, the 9th house can be very much to do with higher education. And if you want to take your talents and embolden them even more with new skills or qualifications, even if you don't start the course during that period of time, you may set in process something that will set a point in the future where you will. Now, of course, the 23rd does see the autumnal equinox. This sees the Sun move into the sign of Libra. The next 13 weeks for us all is very much about how we interact with one another, how we relate. For you, however, there is a very important point of contact between the Sun and Mercury. Some kind of meeting or appointment could be arranged around the 23rd, which is really key around a job, perhaps an application, or if you work for yourself, some kind of presentation, or a meeting or connection with someone where you can, in a very detailed way, punch across your ideas. The 24th, however, does see Venus in an opposition with Neptune. If there's somebody new that you've met this month, you may be thinking at this point, you know, is this person for real? They seem very enticing, perhaps a little bit mysterious, but you may have a desire to really get more to the bottom of who they are. The new moon on the 25th, however, does lie in an opposition with Jupiter, the planet of fortune, but in retrograde in the part of your situation to do with the more psychological domain. What does this mean? I think really and truly, if you want to change your work, you want to change your job, you want to get more physically robust, the new moon offers a great opportunity, but in order to get ahead, you need to be very aware of the whole situation in a more holistic way. So even if you try to be very practical towards the end of this month, be very much in touch with your more emotional and spiritual needs. There is, however, a terrific link between Mercury, which goes into retrograde on the 23rd in Virgo, so it's going through 2 signs this month in the retrograde. But that, even though it's heading backwards still forges a great link with Pluto. Once more, the opportunity to check things out, do your research, take soundings, can see you really given an opportunity to get a much clearer view on how something lies. Your ruler moves, however, on the 29th. Venus goes into your 6th house. Charm will get you everywhere at work. So you can see that there is an opportunity this month to use your personality power, to have a lot of fun. You have to be aware of the realism of some people you may interact with, some of their input into your situation, or in a romantic context, is someone for real, when Neptune and its swirling mist is in your sector of your future hopes. But I also feel that as long as you can be patient with the Saturn-Uranus square, and just keep going back to trying to be inventive, creative, and showing that flair, but also being very precise in the way you approach things, you can end this month with some real progress indeed. It's been a real pleasure being with you. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care and goodbye for now.